According to Peter King of Football Morning in America, the Pittsburgh Steelers are rumored to be looking into trading up to number 9, which we've talked about with the Chicago Bears, for Jalen Carter. That's the guy. That was the big question. Who was it going to be? Was it going to be Paris Johnson? Was it going to be Christian Gonzalez? Was it going to be Devin Witherspoon? Was it going to be Broderick Jones? Whoever. Jalen Carter. The name is Jalen Carter. I'm just going to come out and say it, and then I'll let you go. I fully believe this. I think that it makes complete sense, and I think that Omar Khan would definitely do this, and I think Mike Tomlin would have a field day if given the opportunity to draft Jalen Carter. I don't care where he plays or if he's even able to start in year one. He is the best player in the draft, in my opinion, and I think Omar and Mike are sitting there just like waiting for him to slide to 9.
I'm less bullish on it. And it's not because I don't think Jalen Carter is very good. I've been kind of too locked in on the idea of a corner, of getting a starting caliber corner for Patrick Peterson to mentor. That has been such, and you can't really think about it as, Jalen Carter versus whatever you can get in the later rounds, but I don't know, it basically comes down to best available versus drafting for need.
Yes.
And I'm usually against drafting for need. I usually think that's kind of a misguided strategy, but man, I don't know. It just seems like a lot to give up for a team that needs a lot. You'd have to give up a lot for the pick that you would need to get Jalen Carter. And is there a guarantee? And is there a guarantee that he would be there at 9?
No, I think that they'd trade up on draft day. I don't think they'd make the move beforehand, but I think if Jalen Carter slides to 9, Pittsburgh's on the phone convincing. I think Omar Khan is just like smooth talking his way to Ryan Pohl saying, hey man, you don't really need Jalen Carter. Like, what are you going to plug him in and play? He's got attitude issues, man. He's got off the field troubles. He just got into a car accident. He was 9 pounds overweight at his pro day. Like, you don't need this guy. Give us the pick. We're going to go get him. And, sweet talk him, give him 49, give him a 2 next year, and then you go get Jalen Carter. And I don't know. Like, I get it. I think corner, I agree with you. I think corner is their biggest. I think corner and left tackle are a much bigger need. And I think both of them are better positions to draft. But I think if you get the opportunity, and this is how I look at it. If the NFL made a draft right now and you had your teams, say the Pittsburgh Steelers had their team right now, but they put all the players in the NFL into a draft. And at number 9, somehow Aaron Donald slid his way to number 9. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers sitting there, and I'm not comparing Jalen Carter to Aaron Donald. I'm not. I'm just saying that Aaron Donald's the best player in the NFL. Jalen Carter's the best player in the NFL draft. If Aaron Donald's sitting there at 9, you need a corner still. You could go get Jalen Ramsey. You could go get Patrick Surtain. You know what I mean? You could go get a left tackle. There's a billion left tackles out there, franchise guys. You're going after Aaron Donald. You're trading up to go get Aaron Donald. You're not even thinking twice about it. And I just, in my opinion, I think Jalen Carter is head and shoulders above the rest of this draft class. And I've thought that at the same time. Like, his motor on the field is insane. His size is insane. His ability to use athleticism and strength is crazy to me. He can play all 3 interior positions. Like, he's twitchy for a dude who's 6'4", 320 pounds. Like, the guy's just a monster. But I just, are you going Patrick Surtain, or are you going to get Aaron Donald? And
well, I don't know. Well, I have a chance to go get, I don't know who's so the way I think about this is you're not only by trading up, when you trade up to take Jalen Carter, not only are you taking yourself out of position to take one of those, you're just passing on one of those top corners, but you're also, you're kind of taking yourself out of position to draft one of those second tier guys.
Well, like if you keep 32, I'm okay with this. If you get rid of 49, let's assume they get rid of 49. Even if they get 32, though, like, they get rid of 32 at 49, who's going to be there? Like,
not like, I don't know. I feel like most of those,
I think like a Julius Brents might be there.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
There'd have to be like 8 corners gone in like 30 and 49
And
picks.
there might be.
There could
There
be.
might be.
There very much could be. There very much could be. I will say that. There very much could be. But like with names like with names like Tyreek Stevenson climbing up the boards, like now assuming to be like an option at 17 for the Steelers, you got to think that Gonzalez, Witherspoon, which might be gone before 9. Both of those guys could definitely be gone before 9. Witherspoon, Deontay Banks, Joey Porter Jr., Tyreek Stevenson. We're at 6 so far.
Tyreek
Keely Ringo. Tyreek Stevenson is
came out of nowhere. I don't understand how this guy went through a full college season and he arrived 2 weeks before the draft process, and now he is a first round talent.
That's what happens every time, every single time. I will say this: I watched a clip of the Believe podcast, the Believe in Steelers podcast with Ike Taylor, and when his co-host Mark said something, he was like, yeah, he's expected to go anywhere from like the 2nd to the 7th round. And Ike was like, Tyreek, the 2nd round? And he just smiled and he's like, they be lying. And I was like, oh, okay. And he was the guy that the Steelers sent to Miami to visit his pro day, to watch his pro day. So I don't know. I think he's got some knowledge. I think Tyreek's I think he's a 2nd round corner. I don't think he's a 1st round corner. But even if so, Keely Ringo is 6. We'll say Keely Ringo 6th. Then Stevenson 7. I guess Manuel Forbes would be 8, most likely. Who else is up there? And then I guess it would be like Julius Brents. Like you got 9 corners and 49 picks. 9 of them. Nobody's got Cam Smith. Forgot about Cam Smith. 10 corners, 49 picks. That's 2 every 10 picks.
I don't know. I just wouldn't want to end up with. I wouldn't want to go into this draft needing a corner so bad and then walking away with Tyreek Stevenson or Cam Smith. That would not make me happy.
It wouldn't make me happy either if I was the Pittsburgh Steelers. But I think that the risk reward is definitely there. Like, Clark Phillips, that's another name expected to go in the 2nd round. That's 11. Like, you're not going to get those guys. But so what about this? What if Christian Gonzalez and Devin Witherspoon are both gone? You way more comfortable about that move?
Yeah.
If they're both gone by 9.
Absolutely. I don't know. I'm still like disappointed because then I'm like, wow, I just gave up again, like you're losing for a team that has a lot of needs. You're giving up a very good draft pick this year. I don't think they would. If you give up 49, it's one thing. I have a hard time believing that the Bears wouldn't be able to get 32 back. Yeah.
Maybe they're getting 32. For Jalen Carter, I think you're giving up 32. I think if Jalen Carter's on the board and you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Bears are sitting there going, look it, buddy. I know who you're coming to get. You got to give me 32. If you're not going to give me 32, we could hang up the phone right now and we could go draft Jalen Carter. And I know Omar's going to be like, okay, we got to give up 32. I don't know. Like, I think Jalen Carter is worth that. I think Jalen Carter is worth having to find a different corner in the draft. I also don't know who's going to be there at 17. Because, like, what if you don't make the move because you're being conservative and you want to draft your corner, and then all the corners are gone at 17, and you're sitting there, and the top corners on the board are Tyreek Stevenson and Keely Ringo. At that point, you've just said, oh well, we're like, what's the gap? That, like, you know what I mean? Like, where does Keely Ringo go? Where does it start and end? No. Let's just say, where does it end? Where does it end before you're like, oh, okay, at this point, you've missed out on a corner, and that's bad value.
Like at what pick? Like how far?
No. Like what name? Like what is the corner that at that point, and we could kind of assume who's after that, but like you said, a Cam Smith or a Tyreek Stevenson. You're telling me that, like, if that's their corner pick, that's a bad pick.
Well, depending on where they draft him, but
if that's their first corner, that's the first corner they'll take.
If it's at 17, no. If it's at 32, probably not either. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm not.
That's what I'm saying. If all the corners are gone, okay. Another scenario, because I think they're going to have to run through all these. Another scenario. Joey Porter Jr. is probably going to be the only corner there at 17 that you could take in the first round that you'd feel somewhat comfortable. Deontay Banks already gone. The other two already gone. Are you looking at that saying that's a win over trading up for Jalen Carter and losing 32?
I think so.
Oh.
I would take Joey Porter and 2 second-round picks over.
All right.
I don't
All
know.
right.
Maybe I just don't have the same kind of respect for Jalen Carter, and maybe I should. But
yeah, I think Carter. I've watched. I'm not like Derek or Nick level film review, but I try my best to just always have something on. And dude, Jalen Carter's just a monster. Like just if that guy wasn't in a car accident and it was a terrible, terrible situation, and if he didn't show up at the pro day 9 pounds overweight, if all of this didn't happen, I truly believe that the Chicago Bears would have sat at number 1 and considered Jalen Carter heavily with that first pick, because I think he's just that good. Like, I think he's crazy, crazy good. But, I get it. You want a corner. You need a left tackle. You need probably a right tackle at some point. You need an edge rusher. You need an inside linebacker. You need a defensive tackle. You need a wide receiver. You probably need 2 wide receivers. You do need a lot. If you're the Pittsburgh Steelers, you do need a lot. Giving up a lot. It just depends. I'm going to get Jalen Carter. I'm giving up everything. I'm giving up my first and my 2 seconds to go get Jalen Carter, and nothing next year. That would be the whole package. Go get him. And then I'll wait till 80. And then, take Clark Phillips or somebody that's like 5'8.5. Be like, go ahead, go play slot. We'll be fine.